Yo guys, what up? What up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Massey back at it again with some top tier deck profile yet again. We're doing Fire King Snake Eyes, everyone's favorite. Everyone's hating this deck, whichever side you're on. I really don't care, man. This deck is great. This deck is fun. And I wanted to showcase what I'm playing in the WCQ. This deck, I mean, it wasn't really hard to craft. I mean, it was just the one Ponix, the two Karen. I pulled this one, this one, this one, this. No, I actually crafted this one, and then I pulled three Karen and one Guru next. And I was like, oh, I'm cool. I'm cool. And then I pulled one of these, right? But yeah, the deck is fantastic. I love playing this deck. It's crazy how I just love that you can have almost all your disruptions in the graveyard. Like, this deck does not lose to Nibiru. This deck does not lose to Forbidden Droplet. This deck does not lose to Evenly Matched. This deck does not lose to Dark Ruler no more. It doesn't lose to any board breakers, right? So this is my list. I'm gonna go card for card and talk about the deck a little bit. Yeah. So everyone's favorite. We got 3 Effect Veiler. I put a lot of hand traps in this deck. I chose the hand trap route instead of the more like combo-y route. I mean, it is combo heavy, but I chose because I summon a lot of Heat Soul, and you're gonna see in the replays. I love making Heat Soul, and then having like an IP next to it, and then drawing 2 cards, right? One in my turn, one in my opponent's turn, and then possibly drawing into like a Maxi, a Veiler, an Ash, or an Imp. I mean, the Imperm is kind of dead at that point, but you know what I'm saying. So 3 Effect Veiler, great. I've never was like, oh, that card, this card in my hand. Next is the 1 Snake Eye Ash. For some reason, I don't know if it's Konami with their little algorithms, Like, I'm gonna say 75% of the time I play this deck, I open with Ash. Either Ash or I open with a Bonfire, and I have access to Ash, which is insane. This is the one of, right? And using the Fire King version, I don't miss another copy of the Ash. 1 is alright. Not gonna lie. 1 is alright. If you can finish a duel like in 1 or 2 turns, maybe 3 turns, you're good. But if you get stuck like in a grind game, maybe it'll be a little difficult. But I mean, that's where you have your island, right? So you can have more plays. You have your Iconics, and I will talk about that later, right? So this card is a 1-card combo into your best board, which I have a replay that I show. I went full combo uninterrupted, so you guys know what lines I like to take. I like to take it the nib proof line. I got nibbed. You're gonna see one of the replays I got nibbed, and I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep playing. Which is fantastic because everyone's running nib, and then people still. I don't know if people still don't understanding that this deck does not lose to nib, but that's their problem. They're gonna figure it out sooner or later. I like doing the TCG lines with Oak. I know that I think it's OCG doesn't do the Oak lines because of Maxi, but I was like, I like this line. It's kind of cool. It's nib proof, and sometimes when you use the Doolittle Chimera, you don't have a Ponix, you can reel back an Oak, or you can reel back something with Sunlight Wolf. Yeah, but that's what's there. You're gonna see how I use them. 1 Ponix, don't need any more. Searchable with OSS. Ponix gets your Fire King engine started. You're gonna see also in the replays. Double Poplar. 2 is fine. 3, I think it's too bricky, and plus, like, if you just open Poplar, the only thing you can do is either divert into your Snake Eyes line or divert into your Fire King line, but then you can't have both at the same time. So I stay at 2, just in case I open one and there's no one in the deck, so I can search for the Ash. Then the Master Duel Text, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, nothing to say there. Everyone plays that. The 1 Fire King Arvata, great great, great, great. Monster negate, pop a card, pop a fire monster on the field or in the hand, negate a monster, right? And if this is destroyed, you get to summon a where's that? One fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast. Usually, you're resummoning your chimera if during the combo. But if like you're in the grind game, you can summon anything else. You can summon a Kirin. You can summon Garunix. You can't summon this guy because he's a dragon for some reason. But yeah, the double Iconics. The thing about this card is that it's like a 1.5 card starter, so that's why I'm not playing 3. I'm playing this at 2 because you need another fire monster in your hand to pop in order to grab a Ponix, and then Ponix reads that a fire monster is destroyed, summons to the field, gets you your Sanctuary, gets you your Fire King. This pops Volcanics effect, bring this guy. And then you do your Fire King place. Triple that Bellstar, nothing to say there. She's a 1-card starter as well. I don't think I've shown you one where I just play with the Diabellstar, but the Diabellstar line just leads you into an Ambler Whale by itself on the field, which plays around evenly matched, plays around what's that other card? It plays against any board breaker, to be honest. It doesn't lose to Dark Ruler, doesn't lose to Droplet, doesn't lose to Evenly. It doesn't lose to Super Poly. Because like the Ambler Whale itself, it's useless on the field. But why you want it there is because you can pop it with your Kirin in hand, or you can pop it with your Promethean Princess, and then you get your plays going that way. One Fire King High Avatar Garunix. This is a Garnet. You don't want to draw this, but it is what it is. This card doesn't do anything by itself unless it's destroyed, right? Yeah, it says once per turn during the next time after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the grave. Yeah, I mean, this can fuck you if you don't know how to use this, because it does destroy all other monsters on the field, your opponent's and yours. It's like this, but worse, because you cannot deny the effect. It's mandatory. And then, yeah, it's the same thing. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Fire King monster from your deck, which is pretty cool. But you gotta watch out for the popping effect. One Flamberge, you need it to do your lines, and it's also your Nibiru proof. One Garunix, all you need is one Garunix in the Fire King and the Snake Eyes version. This is your heart, your core of the Fire King engine. This is what you search off of Ponix, or is this search off? Yeah, usually Ponix when it pops, when Fire King Island pops some monster on the field. 95% of the time you're gonna search for Garunix if you don't have Garunix in the hand, right? Double Kirin. I think 2 is fine. 3 are bricks. Sometimes I was trying 3, but I kept drawing like multiple copies, and I didn't like that. So I kept it at 2, and it's been working so far. It's a great way to dodge an Imperm. Let's say you normal summon Ash, you get Imperm, you get Veilard, you chain Kirin, you pop the Ash, pops up the field, you summon Kirin, and then I think I have a replay that I show that, and then you dodge it, and then people get pissed because when Imperm was saving you from a full power combo, you have Kirin dodging it, which people are hating on it, but who cares? Doesn't matter. It is what it is, right? Yu-Gi-Oh is Yu-Gi-Oh. And so yeah, so the third Kirin, I replaced it with a triple Tactus, which is an amazing card. I wish I could play 3 in this deck, but the deck space is really tight, I'm not gonna lie. Most of these cards you need to have them here, but I wanted to keep it at 40. I feel like it's super consistent in this deck. I don't know why people are calling it bricky. I've bricked like once out of like 20 games. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that ratio out. Like 1 in 20 games I brick. The rest I open either Vulcanix, that Bellstar, the Ash, a Poplar, Wanted. Those are all starters. Granted, I mean, if you open the pop, I mean, it's not the best board, but it's still a board. It's still like a regular Snake Eyes board, with an Amblowell and a Flamberge on the field with a IP on the Spell and Trap card. And then we have Triple Bonfire. Nothing to say about that. It's your searcher for Ash, or if your Ash gets ashed and you have Bonfire hand, you can search Poplar and continue playing. One OSS. Nothing to say about that either. This is your searcher for your Ponix. This is your searcher for anything that's level 1 fire. Usually Ponix in your combo. And if you get nibbed and you still have this in hand, you can still continue playing through the Fire King line. One Fire King Island, nothing to say there. This is mandatory in this deck. Helps you pop your fire monsters to bring Garunix to your hand and then continue playing from there. Fire King Sanctuary is an amazing card. This card grants you your Fire King Island on the field. It protects your Fire King Island from destruction, and also it is a disruption on your opponent's turn. Which states, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, XZ summon one Fire XZ monster using only Fire King monster you control. Which, the only XZ monster you have in your deck is the Garunix Eternity Hyang, which is a Dark Hole, if you will. Yeah. When this card is, where it says, if this card is XZ summon, you can destroy all the monsters on the field, right? So it's like a Dark Hole. And also, when this card is destroyed, you can summon up to 2. Let's see. If this card is destroyed while it has material, you can summon Fire King monsters from the grave up to the number of material this card had. Yep. So if it has 2 materials, you can summon 2. If it has 1, you can summon 1. Which is useful if you want to pop it with Fire King Island on turn 3. And then OTK from there. And then we have the Master Duel Tax. Double Call By, 1 Cross Out, right? And then with the 1 Wanted, because we're only allowed to have 1 for that Bellstar. And then Fire King Skyburn. This card is, I think this card is pretty cool. That's why I haven't cut it yet. But if I wanted to cut something, this would probably be the card to cut. But this card is great. It helps you play against Floodgates. It helps you play against annoying things like Runic. Skill Drain, Takobo, what else is there? Really a Warlord, something like that. This you target an equal number of Fire King monsters you control, and cards your opponent controls the same number, and then you pop them. Which this also triggers either so you normal summon Ponix and you pop it with this to destroy a Skill Drain. This thing triggers, you get your Garunix. You know what it is. And destruction. This is the deck loves destruction, which I love. Especially now since I think Sky Striker is really good. And then you're gonna see one of the replays I played the homie Marvin. Shout out to Marvin. And he has a hero deck and he loves destroying cards. And I was like, I love you destroying my cards. It triggers them, You're gonna see in the replay. I think we played 4 duels, but I could only save 1. And I hope it's the one I'm thinking of, And last but not least, 3 imperms to stop your opponent, and for cross out target. And then for the extra deck is pretty tight. So let's go over. So I got 1 Garunix Eternity Hyang to summon off the Fire King Sanctuary as a final disruption. Think of it as the Prankist Butler, but as it destroys everything on the field. 1 Linkuriboh, mandatory. You need to have Linkuriboh in here to go into your Decode Talker Heat Soul play. You can also put your Poplar back into the continuous spell zone and then use OSS. You guys know by now. Snake Eyes is way popular. And I am using the Doolittle Chimera in my combo because I just, the way you play with this card is really nice, and the line I like to do is nib proof, using Doolittle Chimera, and I get to have Permitting in the grave and also Decode Talker Heat Soul on the field at the same time. Well, yeah, at the same time. Which grants me a card. Next, I have Sunlight Wolf, mandatory. The lines I like to do, I need to have Sunlight Wolf, especially when you're tributing this guy out. You get to return, depending on the line you take, you either return the Kirin or you return the Flamberge if you have the Arvata on the field already. One Hita. Nothing to say there. Everyone's playing fire. Even your opponents, even if you get Ash, there it is. You have a target on the grave. And that's a free Promethean Princess, right? One IP. Nothing to say about that. One Dark to Dark Charmer. This has... I don't think it's came up. And if it has, it's like 1 in... I don't know, 1 in 20 games maybe. I keep saying 1 in 20. I don't know why. But 1 in 20 games. I'm just going to say that. Dark is rarely summoned. SP, I have summoned this a lot. Especially against Marvin. To get, I think it was his Malicious Bane off the field. I'm not sure if that's his replay, but that's what it is. One Decode Talker Heat Soul. I love this card. It's basically a pot of greed. One on my turn, one on my opponent's turn, and then I have, the IP below it to link off into SP or an Ambler, whichever, or whatever cards I have on the field, right? And the MVP of this deck, again, Promethean Princess. Crazy card, right? Another MVP in this deck, not something that you couldn't do with your original Snake Eyes, was with Amphibious Swarm Ship Ambler. This, having this on the field, plus Kirin in your hand, or anything else to pop it with, it's just a chain of events right there. Even if you get, say you get even lead, and you leave Ambler on the field, and you still have Kirin in hand, and if they try to do something, chain Kirin, pop Amberwell, bring Masquerena from your graveyard, triggers Garunix. Garunix pops either a Kirin from your deck or an Arvata, summons another monster. You have material to go into an Appaloosa or anything you want, right? Next card is, speaking of is Appaloosa. I think I made this very little. I don't usually end on Appaloosa because a lot of people are playing like Subversion, and it's just easily dealt with. I'd rather have Disruption in my graveyard, which people find it hard to play against, because board breakers don't work. And there's been a lot of Sky Striker lately. I think I played Sky Striker in one of my replays, and he really doesn't understand Fire Kings, and he just starts popping them, and that's not good. Next we have one Zelantis for OTK plays. Nothing to say about that. This is also there for the OTK plays. Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. This helps you OTK even faster. And then I have one Goddess, which I have never used. I'm thinking of cutting this and adding what was the card I wanted to add? Yeah. I'm actually gonna do it right now. I just remembered. It is Lyrolusk. It's Lyrolusk Nightingale. This helps you play against Maxi. I don't know if you guys knew that, but if you normal summon Ash, activate effect, bring Poplar to hand, Poplar activates. They chain Maxi. It's fine. It's fine. Usually, I just stayed with Poplar and Snake Eyes on the field, but if you summon Poplar with Snake Eyed Ash, you go into Assemble Nightingale. Since you need 2 level 1 monsters, you activate effect, and this it says you can detach one material from this card until the end of this turn. Or less monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle, so you're guaranteed. If this goes through, you're guaranteed a turn, right? You can't die. There's no way you can die. Even if they summon 6 monsters on the field, you won't die because this card won't be destroyed and you won't take no battle damage, right? So that's why this is here. I cut the Goddess because the Goddess, I never used Goddess. I thought I was gonna use Goddess, but I didn't play against Pearly. So maybe if I play against Pearly, maybe I'll cut something else, maybe the Dark. I'll cut the Dark and add a Goddess, but we'll see. But yeah, that does it for the deck list. Let's go on to the replays. Alright guys, what's up? This is replay number 1. And for some reason, I'm playing against a Horus Exodia FTK deck. I don't know if that's the thing or if this guy was just messing around, but I know I found him in ranked, and I was like, what's up? Let's go. So he's going first. I started off with Maxi. That Bell started off with a Bonfire and a Skybird. So let's see what my opponent got. My opponent starts going trading, discards the M setting. I'm like, okay, so this is Horus, or what? He discards the Dark Ruler no more, which I really don't care about. Goes King Zarg, and immediately I go Max C. And he has no response. I'm like, alright, great. Because Horus cards are annoying, man. So he does effect, he goes Jizakuru, and then he special summons both Hoppy and Imseti. I'm like, you just gave me some good draws, man. You gave me Seeker and Poplar. And then my 6th card, well, you know, technically my 6th card was effect Veiler, right? So this is looking great. I just have to play against one face down card, and then the effects of this card, right? If I destroy this card or this card, so I'm like, okay. So I lead with Diabellstar. Diabellstar summons, pitching the Bonfire. He's gonna activate the back row, which was Imperial Wall, something like that. Yeah, Imperial Iron Wall, which I can't banish cards with. So I'm like, I don't care. I think this guy was playing too much Kashtira. But this deck doesn't care about banishing cards, right? So I go Diabellstar. He does an Ash. I'm like, okay, so he's probably waiting for OSS. So I'm testing the Ash right now. So I go Bonfire, get Ash. He doesn't. He did an Ash. I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna go here, get the Poplar. Poplar's gonna activate. He doesn't do anything. I'm like, okay, cool. So Poplar and Ash, get the Oak. This is the line I was talking about with the Oak line. Poplar's gonna send the back row, and then, sorry about that. And then Oak is gonna get me my Flamberge. Boom. Nice. Then I'm gonna go OSS, sack the Witch, get Ponix, get my Fire King line started, and this is where I get Nib. Alright. This is where my opponent didn't read the field and was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna nib here, man. He's gonna go into his Fire King lane, blah 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 blah. But I still haven't used my Flamberge, and I still have, you know, Poplar, Ash, Poplar, and Oak. And once he tributes, I'm gonna have Snake Eyes Ash. So I was like, okay, I'm not worried about it. But I do change Sky King Fireburn to destroy the trap card. Actually, I destroy the King's Dark. My bad. Boom boom. Using this card, you can get away, destroy floodgates, you know, which is great. You don't have to play Harpy's Feather Duster. So he tributes the entire field. You know, the bigger rock comes into play, and then Ponix still searches my Fire King Sanctuary. It wasn't negated. I go Flamberge activates. I bring back Snake Eyes. I bring back Ponix. I go Sanctuary. I pop the Ponix. Search the Garunix, and I'm playing like if nothing happened. This is why I love this deck. Boom, Garunix, and then he just gives up. He was like, he knew he was about to get OTK'd. I was gonna go Garunix, pop the Kirin, pop the Imperial Order or the Nibiru, summon another Fire King from my deck, yada yada yada. Go into either Hida, I think he had either that or a Dark, and then I can go into Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess revive the Flamberge, and you know how it is from there. And then OTK was Atlantis. But yeah, let's hop into the next one. Oh, what's up, guys? This is replay number 2. Yeah, number 2. Funny enough, this is a WWQC, as you can see. Funny enough, I'm playing against another Exodia FTK deck. I don't know if someone in the TCG and the OCG topped with an Exodia deck or something. But I know I saw a lot of people playing Exodia decks, which are not really good in the qualifiers, but you know, I guess. And then I am going first. I also wanted to showcase this replay because I go full combo here uninterrupted. And I want to show you what a one Snake Eye. See, I'm telling you, I always open Snake Eye Ash, man. I just want to show you guys what this does. Alright, so we begin. So a normal Ash, you know, I do the classic at the poplar on the field. I get OSS, and then I'm doing this. I use an Oak here. I'm using a TCG line. I do the shenanigans. Poplar goes in the back row. Oak revives Ash. Oak sends Poplar, and I bring Flamberge here. Boom. Very important. Very important that you have to activate Flamberge here to put one of these two cards in the back row for OSS. This is your Nibiru proof right here. Right here. This is your nib proof. As long as this card on the field, your opponent is not going to nib you. And if they did, as you can see in the last replay, you know, I still kept playing. So I put Oak there, and I go OSS on the Oak. Bring Ponix. Ponix activates, gets me Sanctuary. Always search Sanctuary. Sanctuary goes for Fire King Island. And then with these two, I'm gonna go into Doolittle Chimera. I told you I play this card. I like using this card. And then with the field spell, I'm gonna pop it, get Garunix, and then Doolittle Chimera's gonna activate, get the Ponix. You have to get the Ponix here so you can get 3 cards on the field. So Garunix activates, boom, it's on the field. Ponix comes back to my hand. Garunix pops the Arvada. Arvada triggers, getting the Chimera, and Ponix sees that a fire monster was popped, and so it's able to resummon itself on the field. Arvada is going to bring my Doolittle Chimera, and with those two, I'm going to make Promethean Princess. Yes, Promethean Princess. Goated card, probably going to get banned soon. Princess brings back Arvada, and now that I have a monster negate on the field, with a fire in my hand or on the field, I am freely gonna link these two. Link the Flamberge, so you know I get the effect. And I go into Sunlight Wolf here. I go Sunlight Wolf here. Activate Flamberge, resummon Ponix and Ash, which triggers as Wolf. Bring back the Flamberge in my hand, so I can pop with the Arvada in my next turn, and giving me 2 extra bodies on field. I link the Ponix onto the Linkaribo, and when those two Cybers monsters make Decode Heat Soul Talker, grab a card, I get an imprint. I'm like, this is nasty, dude. This is gross. I go Masquerena here, and I end my turn. So this is Fire King's strongest board, kind of the strongest board. I'm gonna say it is the strongest board because I didn't choose to link off into Ambler. I want to keep the decode just in case I draw into an Ash. Into another Veiler or a Mexi. So what do we have here? We have draw 1. We have a quick effect going to SP or a Apollo USA. If I pop the Flamberge first with Arvada, usually you want to use the Arvada first so you can pop the Flamberge, you get extra bodies on the field so you can link off with Masquerena. So we got draw 1, which could be a disruption. We got disruption number 2, which is Masquerena. Disruption number 3, which is higher Fire King Avatar. Disruption number 4, which is Call By. Disruption number 5, which is Impermanence. 6 Effect Veiler, 7 Ash Blossom, and I have the Graveyard Garunix is 8. Promethean Princess is 9. So I have 9 disruptions right now, which are no Omni negates. Which this is disgusting. 9 disruptions, and I don't lose to Droplet. I don't lose to Evenly. If they go evenly, what I do is I keep everything on the field except I think I keep the, what was it? I keep everything. I think I keep the Arvada, right? Yeah, I think I keep the Arvada so I can pop it. So I can use the effect to pop the Flamberge. And then from there, Garunix triggers, and then you have Promethean Princess. And it's just crazy. And if they do evenly, I probably quick effect Masquerena in this and go into Amblowell. And then if I wanted to choose that route, then I do banish their Arvata. And then I can pop it with Promethean Princess and then start my chains there. So here we go. I'm playing against Exodia, and there's no way this guy wins. So I draw into Bonfire. I'm like, okay, cool. So he goes Magical Library. I'm like, oh, right away there's an Exodia FTK deck. So I need to deny this. He goes whatever this card's name is. Draw a card. I'm like, I don't care about any of this. Magical Mallet. I am gonna ash this. He wants to refresh his hand, which I'm not gonna let him. Cool. He activated Into the Void. Remember that. He goes into battle phase and he just gives up. He was like, I'm done. Boom. He just starts crashing his cards. I don't care about losing my IP. And then, as you can see, his hand was Toon Dragon for some reason. I don't know what this guy's playing. Head of Exodia, the left leg of the right leg of the Forbidden One, and Pot of Duality. So I'm like, okay. Well, let's just fucking finish this real quick. There was just no contest. So I go Decode Talker again. I use OSS effect. Put back the Ash. Get a Poplar. Special summon the Poplar. Boom. Fire King Island. Pop the Flambers. Search Volcanics. FX are just going to start rolling out here. I'm just trying to put bodies on the board so I can go for lethal real quick. Garunix. Flambers activates. Go Ponix. Oak. Garunix. All these effects are going to trigger. I mean, they don't really matter. She just has one card on the field. Boom. Sky Burn. I could have Sky Burned here too and attack for game, but I was like, whatever. I'll go Summon Great Raging Phoenix. I mean, at this point, I'm BMing. You know, I shouldn't do this, but I was like, why are you playing an Exodia deck, my guy? You know, goes Atlantis. You know, this fucking banishes and it doesn't come back because of the effect. I go boom. I just boom everywhere here. And I go straight for game. With still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in my hand. And yeah, that was a GG. Alright, the next games I think are going to be more interactive and not Exodia's. I just wanted to show this one because, you know, I full combo. It's hard to get replays for this deck because people, once you start popping off and they don't have any hand traps, they just scoop. So, let's go on to the next one. Alright, guys, this is replay number 3. This is against the homie Marvin. I already shouted him out. He is playing his favorite deck, Heroes. This is all he plays, right? This is all he plays. This is, you know, his baby, the Heroes. So he's, you know, he's a great pilot. But, you know, this game gave me some, you know, some cards here to deal with. So I go first. I see the Maxi. He has the Stratos, this card, Dark Calling, Time Tearing Morganite, and then I got the Poplar, the Ash Blossom, the Double Hiking Avatar Kyrian, and the Callby. I'm glad I draw the Callby and the Ash. Alright, let's go. So I go Poplar here. He's gonna Maxi right away. I'm like, fine with me. I have Ash Blossom. And so, like I told you guys, if you open Poplar, you're most likely gonna do either the Snake Eyes line or the Fire King line. So I believe I go into the Snake Eyes line, which I think it's stronger than the Fire King line. So that's what I'm gonna do. You guys know, so I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because you already guys know what happens here. This is typical Snake Eyes play. If you just open the Poplar, boom. You do, yeah. This line does not play around Nibiru, so you know, FYI. So Promethean Princess F. Bring back the Flamberge, and then Promethean and that go into, I believe I go into Amblowell. Yeah, I go into Amblowell. because I have a Fire King avatar Garunix in my, a Fire King Kirin in my hand. So he goes, I go right away. You shouldn't do this, by the way. I don't know why I just activated that, because you're playing into either a Gamma or you're playing into a Imperm, right? Luckily for me, he drew the Dark Ruler no more, and I'm gonna show you why. You know, Dark Ruler no more doesn't matter. Board breakers don't matter against his deck. So the first thing he's gonna do is gonna activate Dark Ruler no more. I'm like, completely fine with me. Okay, so now he's gonna start doing his play. He's gonna just go Hero Stratos. He's gonna get adjusted. He's gonna go Calling. He's gonna fuse those two into Malicious Bane. And this is the part where I said that Marvin loves destroying cards on the field. I go Princess here, and I totally forgot that you can't destroy this dude by card effects. Which I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It still triggers my cards, right? I go Ash, Oak. Just putting a bunch of cards on the field for the triggers. Grab a Ponix for follow-up. He's gonna go Titanium Morganite. Okay. He's gonna destroy all cards on the field, which is fine by me because all my cards are gonna start triggering here. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of this deck. I lost all my field, and then I'm just gonna re-establish it on my opponent's turn under a Dark Ruler no more. I put Flambers on the back row, and then I resummon Masquerena, which is beautiful because I can use her now. Boom, those two. Real. Go into a SP Little Knight. SP triggers. Banish the Bane, and I'm safe. I'm safe. And then Ambler Will triggers because my card was destroyed, and I destroy his card, and that's it. He used all his cards in his hand, no cards in the field, and he is open wide for a lethal. So go Fire King Sanctuary here, search the Firelit, pop the Kirin, get Garunix, Kirin activates, Garunix activates, and now I'm using the Fire King line, right? Because I don't have access to the Snake Eyes line. Boom. Garunix triggers. Ponix triggers again. I grab a Skyburn. Garunix pops the Arvata. Arvata's gonna summon the Kirin that I have previously popped. And then I have the Kirin, pop the Ponix, summon the Kirin, and just go for game. And GG's. This deck's crazy. This deck's real nice. And yeah, that was sorry Marvin, but yeah, this deck's I like this deck. This deck's nice. But yeah, let's on to the next one. All right, guys, welcome back. This is the fourth this is the fourth replay. I want to show this because, you know, I think this match was crazy. I played against I think it was 3 or 4 disruptions, and I still wasn't able to establish a formidable board with formidable disruptions in the graveyard. And that's when I want to show you how to dodge an Imperm with Ash or an effective air. I forgot which one it was, but yeah, I'm going first. I got, you know, again, I opened Ash, Witch, Kirin, Bonfire, which is an amazing, like a custom hand here. If I get Ash here, I can Bonfire. If I get Imperm, I go Kirin. I can lead with a Witch, but I don't think I do that here. Let me see what I do. Okay, I lead with Ash. Boom, right away Ash gets Imperm. I'm like, cool. Kirin. Chain Kirin here. Pop the Ash. Summon Kirin. Kirin's still gonna go through. Imperm fizzles, it has no more target. Poplar activates. Summon Poplar. I'm gonna get Ash here, which is a-okay with me. I have Witch in my hand. That's 2 disruptions. I send the Bonfire and I summon Diabellstar. Diabellstar's gonna get my OSS that I was gonna get with Poplar. And then this one I go into a Linkuriboh. Really good. Poplar's gonna activate, set in the back row. Activate OSS. Send the Poplar. Go into my Ponix. Ponix gonna get my Sanctuary. Sanctuary activates. getting the fire island. I go into Hita here just to see what my opponent was gonna do, and I don't activate it, but I go Ponix here. I go Garunix. Garunix activates, summons. Garunix activates again. Send the Arvata, and then right here, since I'm gonna activate I'm gonna summon from the graveyard. I felt a pull here again, and I was like, there's only one card that can either it's either a Nibiru or it's either a Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion, because I'm summoning from the graveyard, right? And I'm like, okay, so right there he didn't activate it, so I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna try to steal his Ash Blossom that he used against me with Hita, and then sure enough, boom, Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I'm like, I knew it. So I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna link these two off into Promethean Princess, which I was still gonna do, by the way, even if he didn't negate. Promethean Princess F, summon the Ash, and since my Ash got impermed, I'm gonna use the effect now since I brought it back, right? Boom, those two. Bring the Flamberge. Flamberge activates. I'm gonna put a card in here just in case he has a imperm, or he draws into an imperm for next turn. Go Sunlight Wolf here. Flamberge triggers. Summon those two under him. Activates. This time I'm gonna grab the Kirin instead of the Flamberge. Link Karibo activates. Resummon itself. These two go into Decode Heatsoul Talker, or Decode Talker Heatsoul. Beautiful effect. Effect, draw a card, beautiful. And then these two, I'm gonna go into a Mascarenita. Yes, sir. Mascarena, and end my turn. And then beautiful, beautiful. I have Disruption in my graveyard. I have Link Karibo. I have Promethean Princess. I have Garunix. I have Arvata. If I summon this guy, I have Kirin, just in case I mandatorily need to pop something, which is great. I have like 4, 5, 6 disruptions here. While playing through Ash, Imperm, and a Ghost Bell, right? And I'm playing against Sky Striker here, so going second. And then I go again. I'm like, alright, no hand trap, so let's have a fair game of Yu-Gi-Oh here, I guess. And then this dude activates maneuver. What's it called? Maneuver Afterburners, yeah. So he activates Afterburners, pops my Decode Talker, and I'm like, okay, that's just gonna trigger my Garunix. Garunix gonna summon to the field. Garunix gonna activate, pop the Kirin. Kirin's gonna activate, summon the Airboss, and now I have a monster to get. He's gonna go triple tactics. I'm like, cool. He's gonna draw 2, no problem. He's gonna go Raigeki. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go Masquerena here. I'm gonna link all of these off into a Ambluel. I don't want to lose my Ambluel. Protected by IP, so it doesn't die. Nothing happens. He's gonna go Mecha Shark Cannon. He's gonna summon Hita. He's gonna make his own Hita. Right? Boom. Right before he even activates, I'm just gonna pop it. Pop the Ambluel. Summon the Promethean Princess. Ambluel triggers. Oh, and it's just crazy. This deck's crazy. This deck's crazy. After that, I would have brought Decode Talker. He would have had no cards left. I would have probably used Oak, summon the Ash, go into Salamangreat Phoenix Fire, go into the Zelantis line, and then OTK from there, right? Which, this deck's crazy. This deck is crazy, dude. But, yeah, I just want to show you guys some of these replays, which I think were pretty cool. It shows you, the multiple lines you can take, playing through disruptions. Some people say, people pick up this deck and they don't know how to play with it. I'm like, I mean, it's not that hard. I don't know why people are complaining. This deck is really not that hard to learn, the lines. Once you know, you know. I learned it in a couple of videos, and then, you won't learn if you don't try online. And then that was it. But yeah. Yeah, I wanted to get this deck list out because it's super hot right now. And I'm like, might as well do one. And then, yeah. I think the deck list after this one is going to be maybe Sky Striker. Going second Sky Striker build. I need to build that and test it out in the WCQ. But, yeah. that's all. That's gonna be all for me today. You guys just do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you guys want to learn some, I don't know, some other decks here. I can probably build it and then see how it goes from there. But yeah, this is gonna be the end of the video. Uh, this is Messi signing out, and I hope you have a good day.